welcome to the Service Drive Revolution podcast with your hosts, Chris, the Bulldog Collins, and Gary Daniel, the G-Man.
Welcome to Service Drive Revolution, the show for anyone with a service drive, with your hosts, Chris Collins and Gary G-Man Daniel. I am Lindsey Glass, and today we are going to talk about women's issues in the workplace.
What?
Issues in the workplace.
Women have issues in the workplace?
I know, it's shocking, isn't it? Are you excited to hear about them?
Gary's an honorary woman.
I heard we're getting our makeup done together.
You're right. I am an on.
I made an appointment for us.
You're a little furry, though.
We have a whole spa day.
I'm a hairy woman, but I'm an honorary woman.
So what? We're
like
going to
to
talk about the benefits of women in the workplace, how they can.
Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be fair about this because there are perks to being a woman.
For sure.
And there are some disadvantages. So I'm not going to make it one-sided, but really, so...
What are the disadvantages of being a man in the workplace?
Yes, let's start
Let's talk
there.
about
Well, I want to just...
There are many.
that. Yeah. What are the disadvantages of being a man in the workplace, Lindsey? Tell me.
I'm sure there are a ton. But
Like what?
of being a man in the workplace.
Lindsey Glass. Let's hear Lindsey Glass.
You have to follow the rules.
By the way, everybody, Lindsey has the password to our Twitter, and she won't give it to me.
Because you call it tweetering.
I'm making fun of it.
Are you? Are we sure? Hold on, I have to check my...
Can you
my
tweet
Tinder.
while we're doing this?
No, I'm
You're
doing
on
my
Tinder?
No, I'm just kidding.
You gotta stop dating on Tinder.
Honestly, that we should open the show every time with your tweets. Deep thoughts from Chris Collins on his Twitter page.
So,
More tequila. That's my deep thought.
I want to tell you a story, and I want to ask you what
Are
to
we
do
getting
about
right
it.
into
I was going
the
to say,
subject?
we're derailing
We
her
usually,
thing. You had
Lindsey,
an agenda.
we usually like BS for like 20 minutes before we get right into the subject. But
Do
go
we,
ahead.
do we want to talk about Tinder?
Yeah. What about Tinder?
I only lasted a week. It's a terrible thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't meet one person on it.
Oh, do
By the way,
tell.
everybody, Lindsey's single.
Yeah.
So you have two things you can call about Lindsey for, well, I don't know. Don't call about a date with Lindsey. But the technician tree, people have been calling about the technician tree.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a valuable
Yeah.
product. People are going to
It's
be really
coming.
excited about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I guess we maybe shot out of the gun too fast with that one.
Yeah.
We had some technical
almost done.
difficulties. It's done. It's just the getting the landing pages to work right, and
Don't worry about that. You've got the best copy ever written.
there
for
is a
the-
lot of
for the
copy.
product,
Yes,
so-
To
lots of
Lindsey
copy.
and Shannon,
well, you know,
the angels of copy.
the angels and
Okay,
devils.
so can I
Or
just
the devils of copy, depending on what mood you're in.
Oh, that's
Can I
right.
just say not that long?
By the way, everybody, just to tell everybody, Lindsey works here, and she writes, and she's in charge of social media.
Yep.
I am?
She's in charge of like image, kind of. Would you say
Oh, gosh.
curator of image?
Curator of image, yeah.
Yeah, she keeps trying to get me to shave my beard. But I don't know how that's
Crafting.
gonna go. Wait a second. What are you gonna read, Gary?
So not that long ago, you tweeted, "Are you a prisoner in your?"
I did not.
Yes, you
I
did.
did not.
Oh, it's right here.
I would never say that.
Are you a prisoner in your own mind? Service Drive Revolution number 39.
Listen.
Oh, I think isn't that the subject of the
Yeah.
podcast? It's not
It's
a
about
quote.
mindset.
Oh, it's a direct.
It's not a quote.
Well, you tweeted it. Like you're tweeting things that you're not like. Don't come. That's weird, man.
When are you going to tweet that one? I texted you on Sunday. When are you going to tweet that? You don't like it?
I'm not sure it makes sense.
No, but just do it for me because I want to make a big thing on the wall with it. Then you can
Okay.
take it down.
Okay.
You,
Oh, here's a good
can
one.
you take a tweet down
Yeah,
after
you
put
can.
it up?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a peek at the answer to the great technician drought.
Yeah.
That's a good one. His tweets inspire me.
Oh, good. I'm so
I
glad.
read his tweets all the time.
Yeah.
I have to make believe that he's actually doing it, but we appreciate your efforts.
Everybody knows it's not me.
Well,
So are you going to tell us a story?
Well, you want to get back to the story now?
Yeah.
Gosh.
What's the story?
So bossy. Okay, so you're gonna like this story actually,
Is it a
right?
sad story?
It is. Well, for me, yeah.
Uh-oh.
So
Is this something that
Are we going
happened in the
deep?
workplace?
It happened.
Chances Gary cries about this story.
Okay.
Ooh, what are the chances I cry?
So listen to this. I had to bring my car in for service. Okay.
It's topical.
I'm from New York. I've only lived here like a little bit over a year. So I have this car. Of course, my father was like, get all the extra things so everything's under warranty. So I actually did it this time because in the past I hadn't had to pay for everything. So I have to bring my car in for service. And already, due to my very talented and, let's leave it at that, employers, I needed to do it in off hours. So it didn't interrupt with my leaving work.
Okay.
Was that an underhanded dig at Gary?
Not at all. Not at all. It was a compliment at how good you guys pay attention.
Don't let people take time off.
To where your employees are all
You were
day.
scared to ask?
In my head, she's working somewhere else. She's not even working here yet.
No, I think that was a dig at
But
us.
apparently that was a little backhanded
So
compliment.
I go to all of this trouble to bring this car in at like 7 a.m. And I live in Hollywood, and the car,
What kind of car?
it's a Volkswagen. So I wasn't going to say what dealership didn't like treat me so well, but it was Volkswagen.
Some I would say the name.
Oh, sorry.
Edit that out.
We'll edit that out. So anyway, I get there early, and in my bag I have a book by Chris Collins called Gamification. So already I'm like prepared for this, right? Because it's very difficult. Cars, yes.
So hold on, hit the brakes.
You got the wrong book, first of
So
all.
yeah, so is your plan to use the book to gain favor with the
Yes.
service department?
What about-
Okay?
Yes, that is my
That's-
plan.
So she went in with a
Probably the
bribe
wrong
right
book,
out of the
though, right?
gate.
Yeah.
That's the wrong book.
Should have had the
Service advisor.
or manager one.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Mistake number one.
But you could hit him with the gamification book.
Mistake number one. Wrong book.
You should have asked us, but you apparently were not very.
No,
good to
I
you, so-
actually did. I asked
terrible.
him if you would fight him if he did not get my car or yell at
I'll
him.
fight you.
And you said, I'm not a yeller.
I'll breakdance fight.
Oh man.
So, okay.
I will spin and pop and twist him into
Oh
submission.
god.
Now-
I can't stop thinking about Dave and what he said. Every time I hear that, just think about what Dave said. You got hit by a car? I'll fight you. Remember the lawyer?
Oh, yeah. Did you hear that story?
Go back a couple episodes. It'll make
So,
sense.
Yes.
topical to this conversation, we have sexual harassment training coming out that we're going to sell on the interwebs that certifies companies on sexual harassment. Just a little side thing we're doing in our spare time. And
Because we're not busy enough.
Yeah.
and
Doing enough
our
work.
buddy, who's the star of that, who's a lawyer and he's funny and he's great, said that we should shoot some videos where we do the opposite. The commercials where they're ambulance chasers and
Yeah.
they're like, you got hit in a car accident, I'll fight for you. Like, that sort of thing. Instead, he's like, I'll fight you. So you got hit in a car accident? I'll fight you. And then they fight. Oh, just a little.
Well, I wanted to prepare
Funny.
you
is funny.
to fight these people in my honor if need be,
Wow.
if my
What's all
service
this,
appointment
what's all
didn't
this
go
violence, Lindsay? Why are you
well.
so violent?
I'm a New Yorker. I
Yeah.
haven't thawed yet.
Yeah.
We've been to New York. Nobody fought us.
Where were you in New York?
We were all over. Yeah.
Long Island.
The meat packing district is where we were.
All right,
fancy.
in a fancy meatpacking district.
Where should we have gone?
Come find me on the Lower East Side some night, and we'll have a different
Lower East Side.
have a different situation. So anyway, I go to my appointment.
Okay.
I am on time. I find the right person. I explain that I work for a gentleman who not only used to do this, but coaches and advises on the subject.
Is this
And-
before or after they disappointed you?
This was before because this was my whole strategy.
Have they heard of us?
No. And problem number two. So my
Wow.
whole strategy was like, look, I got here really early. I have to get to work and I bring out the book and I'm like, I work for this guy and he knows like how this works. So I need to get to work on time. And so here are the things they would not do for me. I work downtown. I was like, can I have a loaner? I've had other cars. They always gave me a loaner. He's
Yeah.
like, no, sorry, we can't do that. I'm like, all right. Well, can you let me know what time we're going to be done? Blah, 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 blah. He's like, all right, well, we'll give you a call. And I'm like, dude, do you realize I help write the scripts for what you're supposed to be saying right now? And you are not saying the things that I need you to be saying. So he didn't care at all.
No.
Okay. So the point was, I was like, do you know these guys? He's like, oh, I don't know. Maybe it sounds familiar, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so I have to get an Uber to come to work. And somebody did actually get in touch with me in mid-afternoon to tell me that the car was ready.
So you dropped the car off at 7?
Mm-hmm.
And then what time did they call you?
Around 3 or 4 in the afternoon.
What was wrong with the car?
It just needed its 1 year...
Oil change?
Like what happens at 1
It's
year.
basically an oil change.
Oil change.
Yeah, you bring it in
Did they
for
do
service.
a microfilter?
Yeah.
At 1 year?
No, not at a year.
So I said there was like...
Got an oil change.
I said there was like a weird noise, and I described exactly how you guys had told me. You know, I turned the radio off. It wasn't raining, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, do you want to walk around the car? He's like, no. And I'm like, all right, so just let me know if when you drive it, you know, it ever feels like when you're in drive, it slips a little bit and this thing happens. So I go back to pick up the car. And basically, the guy that had helped me is gone. Because I was under warranty, not only did they not... I was looking forward for them to try and sell me something.
Mm-hmm.
They ignored me completely. So I'm not saying they like didn't do their job. They serviced the car. But I'm somebody that is potentially a very loyal customer and would buy stuff and bells and whistles. I also said, can you have the car cleaned? And he said, no, we're not doing that right now, you know, because he's like, on special occasions, sometimes we can do that for some customers, but because of the drought, you know.
They don't wash cars.
They don't wash cars. So I get back, the car's filthy. I get some document from some other person, and they like send me away.
That's just such a... Why is it such... That is the norm. Like, that's the status quo. Drop your car off at 7. You don't hear from anybody till 3 or 4. They don't pay any attention to you. They don't try to upsell you anything. Like, it's just the weirdest thing to me.
Well, I don't want to say it's just because I'm a woman. I really don't.
It's not because you're a woman, because we get the same experience.
It happens to me all the time.
Lucas had the same experience.
I went in there specifically saying, you know, like, I know how this works, you know, work with me. Like, is there anything I can do that will allow you to get me a loaner?
Yeah.
You know, it was like $60 to get back and forth. So my experience was not good. But I guess that's not...
It's commonplace.
So now, do you believe, is it your theory that it was that way because you're a woman and that you went to the car dealership?
Because I listen to you guys so much, I hear it so often that they don't really pay attention. But I mean, these guys did not pay any attention to me at all. I mean, there was absolutely no discussion of anything I could do extra, anything I could possibly want. I think they figured they weren't going to make a sale off of me. So what did it even matter to get my car washed?
Well, I'm going to give you a couple of tips, and the first tip is probably the most important one. And so, in Los Angeles, there's like a specific thing. So when we say Volkswagen, not Volkswagen. So that's a start.
Did I make a huge faux pas?
You got to frame it. You know, right away they're like, Volkswagen. Who? This lady's from the East Coast. We're not helping her.
Oh God! All right.
That's funny.
You should have asked me first about the local slang. I would have helped you out with that, starting right out of the gate.
But like even when I bought the car, you know, just like the way they deal with women, like I ended up buying the car from the third dealership I went to because I just felt like I wanted to get the numbers for the first two. And
that's one thing, though. I think the car industry hasn't made enough of an effort to have more female salespeople and advisors.
Well,
like
also
we always try to add female advisors just because it's more comfortable.
Yeah,
it brings the locker room talk down.
Yeah, I mean, we had female techs, which man, I've been in the industry for 30 years. Like, it took a while to find techs that want to be or female techs or females that want to be techs. But yeah, females in the service drive was a must. I prefer it only because they're not as harsh. It softens the whole thing,
and it's not such a boys' club.
Yeah,
And even if like, let's say like Jair was writing up a female customer, when there's 2 female advisors next to him, it just makes the customer feel like, oh, okay. Like,
it's less intimidating.
Yeah, because it is intimidating for females to go in there and it's all dudes and they're always big and overweight and like, "Rawr."
So that was actually a question I was moving towards. Like, what?
I think that's something we consciously try to do when we're in a department. We try to add females. If I have a choice between a female and a male, I'll go female.
Yeah.
Just because it brings down the... Well, I don't actually, like, some of the best advisors are female too.
But do you think there's opportunity for women?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Huge.
for sure.
Why don't you ever
see,
hear
like-
about it? You don't see it.
Yeah, we don't do a good enough job of that. Although I think we've pulled people out. But you look at somebody who's like waiting tables or other jobs, and they're killing themselves,
Right.
and they're making half of what an advisor makes.
Yeah, I could tell you this. If you're a waitress listening to this right now, go be a service advisor.
We pull big with the waitresses,
Oh.
right?
After I read your first book, I was like, I went into the wrong career. Like, if I could have been a fantastic service advisor, you know, but nobody
so
told
there's
me
some
that.
there's some you'll see at the Top Dog event, but there's female advisors that are unbelievable.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
And
They're
then
making a
there's
great living,
We have
too.
female managers that are unbelievable too.
Can we write some pieces on them or profile them? Because honestly, it feels like
That's a
there
great
are
idea.
no women in this part of the industry, and it's
male dominated for sure.
And I'm not sure, even though you're talking about doing like sexual harassment stuff, these guys don't know how to talk to women.
No.
They don't.
So okay.
And actually that's training that's training not only could we provide, but it's training that's out there.
And I don't disagree with that, but I want to understand how you see that, because I'm just an
too.
honorary woman. I'm not an actual woman.
Listen, once
So
we
I'm-
have matching nails, you
That's
know,
right.
you'll feel better about it.
I have my spot. It's the Bellagio. It's out in
Oh,
Marina
he's-
Del Rey.
he's
I want to give a
fancy.
shout out to my girl, Kathy, out there. She takes really good care of me.
So let us interview you a little bit, and let's go into when you drive in. What do you feel like when you drive into a service drive as a female, from that point of view, not as a consumer, as a female?
First of all, they're usually a bunch of guys standing around, and they're totally going to check you out. Instead of some super friendly guy coming up to me and being like, "Hey, how can I help you?" I'm like, they're a bunch of
By super friendly guy, do you mean super cute or super friendly?
super friendly, cute.
So
cute
what's
doesn't
super
hurt.
friendly?
Hi, you know,
Like a Mario?
yes, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Jair and Mario both would fit that description.
What
They're
are you
not
what are you
douchey.
here for? How can we help you?
Yeah.
You know, not that feeling of being, not only am I lost, but they're like a bunch of dudes staring at me, making me feel weird.
yeah.
Okay, so they're staring at you, and that's weird. And then what? When they walk up,
Oh, they don't walk up.
right? Of course. So
Like-
then you got to go up to them.
I have to like walk around and
Come to
find
me, baby.
somebody and like be like, can you tell me where to go and what to do? So if somebody came up to me, and exactly the kind of training that we've written and talked about, if somebody came up to me and walked around the car and said, hello.
So it's so funny. Like, there's people listening to this right now that are going, "Oh, she's super sensitive. She, blah blah blah." It doesn't, like, that's how females feel. It doesn't matter if you aren't checking her out. If they feel like you are, then you are.
Yeah.
Like, it's how we make customers feel that's important. It's not how you think.
Right.
It's not what you think you're projecting, right? And so you got to pay attention to this, because it's a big deal. Like the huddle, the way you look, being friendly, not being douchey,
Yep.
not checking some girls can tell when they're getting checked out.
Sure. And I think
Right?
that's like that.
Yeah, and not even necessarily like, are they thinking I'm, attractive? It's like, what am I not attractive? Like, we are.
Yeah, and that
sensitive.
shouldn't even play into it.
Yeah.
So what did you like? What I want to hear stories.
Wait, we're not done.
Okay.
So
Sorry.
then you go find somebody,
Mm-hmm.
and they're going to help you. And then when I know you said that you told them, "Do you want to walk around the car?" And they said no. Do you then when they went to create the paperwork, how did you feel? Did you feel talked down to?
Absolutely.
Why?
How
Why, and then how could it be presented better?
I think they were just rushing me through. It felt very rushed.
Was there a line of customers?
It was early, so yeah, a lot of people were pulling in. But it was also more the fact that I was just there for my yearly maintenance. Like I didn't come in with a problem. I just came in, a light went on, I got the email and the call.
It's funny how perception is reality, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's so funny because we make money on maintenance too.
I mean,
to an advisor, it's like, it's really not a big difference.
Yeah.
They're making money.
It felt like all they were going to do was do whatever they had to do because I had to be there.
It was an obligation.
Yeah, and nobody was going to even bother with me.
Yeah, no, how you feel is reality. It's just funny.
Yeah.
Because it's terrible.
That's an up, right?
So how could they have done it better to make you feel comfortable? What could have changed?
Well, first of all, I think, if there were some females around, not necessarily that, everybody has to hire females, but at least somebody there greeting, either male or female, that sort of introduced you to the process. I think it would have been a little bit more pleasant, had he actually talked to me about what they were doing and asked me if I wanted anything extra or services or if there was anything about the car.
So hold on, stop right there. So I have two questions for you. One is, do you think it's mandatory that they have a female in order for you to feel comfortable?
No.
Because if it was Mario and Jair, she'd feel comfortable.
Yeah.
So if they had it, so I just want people listening. I want to kind of unpack it a little bit.
Yeah.
So basically, if they have people who are focused on your needs as a client, right? It's that perceived indifference.
Yes.
They're just indifferent to why you're there.
Yes.
It's their own agenda, whatever it would be, right?
Right.
So that's my first question.
But what's funny about that, G-Man, is that dudes, we're dudes and we go in and the guy's like, okay, we'll call you. And we're like, cool. And to us, but female consumers, they think different and they want the process to be explained. They want to understand what they can expect.
Yeah.
They want you to take more time.
Can I say frame?
Yeah.
They want you to frame the experience.
No, they do. And so
Absolutely.
they are different.
Yeah.
And then when there's all a bunch of dudes and they feel intimidated. So there is, I know when I wrote service, I treated females different.
Yeah.
So that's what I was going to ask you.
Question number two.
No, let's get back to
this.
Yes,
please. Let's focus.
Focus.
So my second question is, so they didn't try to sell you anything.
No.
Right? They didn't talk to you about what your car needed. They didn't talk about future needs. They didn't create a repair plan.
No.
And that was disappointing to you.
Yes.
Okay.
So you want to know my secret, how I treated female customers when I was an advisor?
Yes,
I do. It's really complicated. It's going to take a long time. How much time do we have?
We're almost out.
I would walk up with a big smile and I'd be like, how are you doing today or this morning or whatever? And then I would find something to compliment and break the ice. And then I would say, hey, what are your plans today? You going to work? What are you doing? And if they had kids, I'd say, how many kids do you have? That's it.
Yeah.
Pet the dog.
Yeah, I would just make friends. I would treat them like anybody else.
I always appreciated a female customer over male only because they vocalize their appreciation more. And so when I was an advisor, if you got a female customer, you did a great job, they would tell you, oh my God, I can't believe it's the greatest experience ever. But if you had a dude and you did that for him, he'd say, okay, all right, yeah, see you next time. You didn't get that kind of praise and appreciation. So it was always nice to have that.
And on that note, if a guy was nice to me and flirted with me, I'd totally buy something.
Okay, but let me tell you this: don't date your customers. That's a nightmare.
No. I didn't mean it like
once.
that.
I wouldn't do that. No.
Oh my God.
I just mean
Nightmare.
but if a guy came up to me and smiled, and I have dog stuff in the car.
Yeah, we talk
about the
It's
dog.
show me pictures. It's all the stuff you do now.
Yeah.
I don't know, but the thing for me is that was never fake. It wasn't contrived. I genuinely care about people.
Yeah.
And if they have a dog or kids, I'm interested. But that breaks the ice. And then the other thing with female customers that I found is that you never reference the husband. Never. Let them do that. If they say, could you call, sometimes, and this isn't a bad thing, but sometimes they'd say, well, could you call my husband and tell him?
Yeah.
If it needed something. I'd be like, yeah. But I would never say, do you want me to call your husband? Because that is a huge, huge insult. Also, never ask a female if they're pregnant just because they're chubby. We've covered this before. Never, ever, ever ask a female customer if they're pregnant just because they're chubby. Because if they're not, you're gonna want to kill yourself.
Oh man, we need a book of Chrisisms. That's one of them. We'll
Yeah, that's one of the best ones.
And then the other thing is like it did seem like, and I wish we could ask Jerry or Mario about this, but it did seem like to me that the female customers were more susceptible to a maintenance plan.
Yep.
Oh man, I remember too. Like I had so many female customers that would come back like on payday, and they would just get stuff chopped off the list. They wanted to maintain their cars. They wanted to know. They wanted to see it. They wanted to understand it. And if you took the time to show them and explain it, they were yours forever because you didn't talk down to them.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
And I didn't assume that they knew anything. I just told them, and they'd be like, "What is that?" And then I would say, "Do you want to see it?" Like they, once you had their trust and they knew, and you created a plan for them, they were loyal. They wanted to maintain their cars. They knew,
And that's the point. Female customers are loyal and spend money.
Way more loyal.
And if right at that moment when I had that bad experience, I was like, I don't have to ever come back here again.
Yeah.
And that's their loss.
Don't they say, isn't the statistic that it's that women make like 85% of the purchasing decisions?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're paying the bills. They're taking the car in.
So
honestly, I don't, that's a great stat, but I don't care. They're people. Like, I want them to feel comfortable. Like, I don't care.
But I think that in a lot of instances,
what if they were spending 40%?
They're mistreating them. Yeah, I wouldn't matter to me. The dollar's a dollar. I really don't care. But BMW redesigned the door handle to accommodate, fingernails because women, were making the buying decisions. So they redesigned the handle. And it's like, so meanwhile, here it is 2017 and we're still having experiences like that.
So they're changing the car to fit female fingernails.
Trust me, the manufacturers don't want that. It's the individual dealers, the individual owners of shops and dealerships that allow that to happen.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. That's just.
I think we in our careers have tried to curate a situation where there's always females involved in the write-up.
Yeah, my manager was a female.
Yeah.
The manager that worked for me was a female for years.
Because it is a big deal. Like it can become a boys' club really quick.
So can I move on to something else really quickly? Because this was sort of the second half.
What did you think of our answer?
I thought it was good. I thought it was great, and I think there's something there that really.
Isn't it funny that that's a
praise.
thing? To me, it seems ridiculous.
I
does.
think
It really
you should.
does.
I think part of training should be how to make
We
sure
should do how to handle female customers.
Yeah.
It's funny because you don't think about it because it's foreign, but we should.
Guys are so douchey.
Yeah, we should.
And I went to the trouble of preparing myself. I did research and prepared myself for this, and it didn't go well.
tell you,
Especially because you work here, like you're paying attention, like you understand how good our training is.
One of the worst day of my wife's life was when I left the dealership because now she's taking the cars to go get serviced, and she's just like every time I say, "Hey, can you take?" She's just like, "Ugh," she doesn't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
Does she feel like they're checking her out?
Well, she
shouldn't wear yoga pants.
She just doesn't like.
Yes, she should.
experience.
She looks good in yoga pants.
But no, they're gonna check her out in yoga pants. I'm just joking.
She is not aware of those things as they go on.
She
not
is.
aware.
She
I
is.
promise you, she's not aware. We should test it one day, but she's not aware.
There's no way.
She's not. She is not aware. I tell her all the time.
She's not aware that guys check her out.
She's not. I tell that guy was just looking at you. Did you see it? He couldn't take his eyes off you. She's like, nah, he's not looking at me. She's just not. And I've been dating her for. I don't know. I've been with her for
Since junior high.
30 years. She's always been that way. She's always been that way. She's funny.
Wow, what must it be like not to be self-obsessed?
I don't know.
Good for her.
Balanced.
Yeah,
Because I'm like, well, what am I okay? Can you take a look and give me some validation?
Yeah, that's a neat trick.
You don't need it, but
So here's the other piece of this: is that women who do work in the car industry, one of the things, because it is a little bit of a boys' club, would be wonderful to have some information, and I think it goes across the board, but how women can conduct themselves in sort of really boys' club type environments because I've had some situations where people just won't do what I tell them to do.
Example.
not recent.
No. So I
Gary
was
won't do what you tell him to do.
I was brought in to be a consultant when I was living on the East Coast. And if you're brought in to be a consultant, you're a specialist.
Yeah.
Like, you know what you're talking about. But there were a lot of guys, and it was definitely a boys' club environment. And I gave them a plan of what to do, and they didn't do it. And then ultimately it all didn't work out. And then someone else came in, and it was a guy, and they used my plan, and it worked. So it's like, I think women fall into several categories. It's like, are you going to be the really cute girl at work that flirts and gets her way because she's sort of pandering to the guys in the office? And I don't think that's a good way to go either. I think it's dangerous. I think you're going to lose respect. I mean, there's a line to toe. You want to be polite. You want to be friendly. But like, how do you either not be the bitch that's like, kind of busting balls and on everybody to do what they're going to do, and also not have to be like, please, could you possibly take a look at this later?
I think I know your answer, but I'm dying to hear it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, I want you to say it. I'm dying. I know.
No, come on.
No, I want to hear it from you.
Well,
I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to be the one that comes out with it. Go ahead.
Don't do it.
I think what you would say is that happens to all of us. Like in a consulting role, it's really more about you have to be, for lack of a better term, you got to be the bitch, because if you want to take control of the situation, you want to get stuff done, that's what you have to do. And I think in a lot of cases, we're coming in, armed and ready to go because we know the battle's going to happen. And
so women
you're
just
hopeful,
aren't prepared for it.
Yeah, you're just when we fight, that's what we do. So you're hopeful that it'll go your way because you're being called in to fix it.
Right.
But I can promise you, I've been in that situation, and it still happens to me because I came in unprepared to fight.
Right.
Whereas like Mr. Collins, this is why I said I think I knew his answer. So now am I close?
Yeah, but I would say that it happens though. Anyways, no matter what she did, there's probably scenarios where you just need to pick better clients.
Yeah.
But I would say when I was younger, I used to make the excuse that the reason why they're not doing what I'm saying, the reason why they didn't hire me is because I'm young. Because I'm 24 out there telling dealerships how to get better.
Right.
And so the age thing was a factor. And I found some ways around it. Like I found if they wrote me a huge check as a sign up, they listened to me. I found the more social proof I had and the more I was showing my results, they listened to me. And so I would hedge before I got there, a lot of social proof. I remember the first thing I used to do. I don't know if you remember this, but I know I did it to Vicky. I took her out of there and took her to another one of my stores.
Oh yeah.
Instantly.
Yeah.
Because I was just so young. I was 26.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to listen to me. So I would take them to another dealership, and then they would see how they treated me and how they were excited to see me, and then their results, and they would share their numbers. And I would tell them ask any question you want. And then that now was the frame for how they were going to treat me when we came back to their store.
Right.
So I had to use social proof. I had to get the sign-up fee couldn't be enough because I learned the more that they paid for a sign-up fee, the more they listened to me.
Yeah.
And the more they valued me.
They're vested, right?
I don't know. There's sometimes those clients just aren't. There's gonna be people like that, because it's a reality. But what I found is that the way that I got over it was hedging my bets in a bunch of different ways. Social proof. The more vested they were.
Preparing, going in with a plan, kind of stuff.
I think it too. It's your attitude.
Your results, your results are what frame it.
Yeah.
Because people want results. So if the other people don't have results, you're going to win that battle.
Yeah.
But you got to tout them. And it's hard. It was hard for me to brag. That's a hard thing, is how do you share with results without bragging?
Right. It's
all an art. It takes work.
It does.
You got to do 20 of those in a row to figure out how to get over it, because it's not easy.
Yeah. But
I
don't
that's
think
one of the reasons why I
automatic
ended
either.
up in California. Because where I come from in the Northwest, there was a good old boys club. Everybody knew everybody, and I was just a kid.
Right.
But down here, people just wanted to make money.
Yeah.
They wanted results. So I was judged on my results, not on my age.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think it's automatic. That's the thing I would say in response to that is woman or man, it's not automatic either way. Like either way, you have to set it up for success, and it's very, very complicated. telling people what to do in any environment, being a manager or a boss, a leader, an owner, or a consultant coming in trying to influence change and get big results. Any of those things, they're difficult. And no matter who you are, no matter whether you're a man or a woman, I can see that.
Or race too. I think race plays into this too.
That.
I know many times I've had a vendor do a proposal. They're unorganized. They're late and whatever. And I know they walked away thinking that we didn't hire them because it was of their race, because of their gender. Yeah. And it was none of that. It was none of that. But you can see it. They're looking at you like, oh yeah, And I'm like, no, you're late. And you're not prepared. Yeah. You can't answer my questions, and I don't trust you.
What about like maybe benchmarks for success?
The thing you said about vendors the other day?
Yeah, like really.
Yeah, that was genius.
So that's the thing.
But that's even I even know you because we've worked together that you wouldn't. If somebody showed up late, you're harder on people than I am.
But in a way,
your expectations are higher, which is good. But I don't believe that you're thinking race or gender.
Yeah.
No, but my expectations are very, very high because
they should be.
I feel like I have to. I have to set an example, because I'm female.
You're overcompensating? Is that?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
I don't think that.
I just think you
to
just
me,
have,
it wouldn't
you have
matter
to
if you're
operate
female
that
or
way.
male.
Yeah.
Well, I agree. I think it's a personality.
Do you
thing,
feel that
and
here?
You're ambitious.
You're held to a different standard because you're female?
No.
No, I'd be, if that's the truth, I want to know.
I don't want to know. Kidding,
I do.
No. What I'm really getting at is, when you're an ambitious woman and you want to do well in a company or an industry, and it's a bit more of a boys' club. How do you set yourself up for success? And I think you're answering my questions,
But I would say there are certain scenarios and there are certain environments where it's a boys' club and they're not going to give girls the fair shake.
Yeah.
And it's not right.
And in that situation, you have to show up, you have to work hard, and you have to prove that you're going to, believe me, I've worked in other industries, and people roll in whenever they're doing their nails at their desk.
Yeah.
That stuff's not going to fly here.
I mean, I remember for Vicky, I remember taking Vicky around, and people wouldn't believe she was a manager back then when I was 26, and she was a female manager and a really good one. And I don't know, that stuff always surprises me.
Yeah,
they're like, oh, you're and even customers would do that to her.
But if we're all so surprised, I think that there's an image problem.
Yeah.
Well,
but I think people like Vicky and yourself and performers that are doing performing at a high level over time, that's fixing that because you're leading with your results and your leadership.
And Vicky was an amazing manager, but she just had a confidence problem. Like that, I mean, for her, that was the biggest deal. I remember being...
But bro, she was the only one in the country that was a female for BMW. Only one in the country.
I remember going to those meetings with her when I first started working with her. I remember we'd go to those conferences, and it would just be a sea of blue suits and white shirts and red ties. It looked like a senator's...
And Vicky.
Yeah. And she could work the room better than any of them.
But I do remember at a point, then there were 2, then there were 3, then there were 20, and then the tide started to turn.
Then she was doing.
But I would like to say we had a part in that because I added more female managers than anybody there for a long time.
Oh yeah,
I had them all over.
Well, you had half your group when I was coming down were female,
and that's I think that that's on purpose.
Yeah.
The responsibility is on you guys. Change the world.
Well, I mean, I don't to me, this is going to sound weird, but the most important thing was to provide customers with a comfortable experience. And when it's a boys club, that's a no-win situation for everybody.
We have some female,
too much testosterone.
We have females in the group right now. I mean, we have Valerie and then, oh man, Apple Honda. She's
Kelly.
Thank you.
How could
She's
you forget Kelly?
I forgot momentarily.
Kelly, sorry.
But yeah, we had Valerie and we had Kelly. They're really strong, great managers in our
Terry.
group. So we had Terry. Yeah, Terry's still there.
Natalie.
So, all right, let's recap.
Julie.
Can we recap?
Bro, you're forgetting a lot of females. Julie.
He's still.
Oh
he just
yeah,
wants to talk
Julie
about
Booth.
girls.
Yeah.
Well, no, but if they're listening, they're gonna feel
Yeah.
like
Oh, shout out
we
to
should
the
have
girls.
a list.
Well,
There's
why
more
don't we
than
have a
that.
list?
No, there's more
Well,
than that.
I don't know because
And
I don't look at it that way.
Yeah,
but
and
we could.
I have a terrible memory and just kind of jogging and trying. It's
there's a
difficult,
lot.
but there.
You forgot my
there's
name
been a
this
lot-
morning.
No, it wasn't this morning. It was yesterday.
Did you say, "Hey, Toots"? What?
no,
He
we
just
were-
looked at me
I was in-
blankly. I was just like,
He's under a lot of pressure.
Bro,
Yeah, sure.
we were talking about the video schedule, and my head was spinning, and I turned around and looked at Lindsay, and I just had a blank.
that's all right.
He's getting old too. He's got cholesterol issues.
I got cholesterol in the brain,
Could cholesterol tie to memory loss?
high blood pressure.
So, what do you think about our answers?
I think they're really good. I think that the messages that need to be sent out are that there are opportunities for women in the auto industry in all areas, and that some of the best techs and advisors you've worked with and whatever are women, and that when it comes to certain things, whether it's your work or bringing your car in, you need to actually be a little bit prepared. You need to have proof of what your results are. You need to have measurable, actions you can take. And yeah, I think, there is a responsibility on women to know that when they come in, they've got to do their job, and they got to fight for it in the same way, they would fight for it at home at the dinner table.
That's funny. We need to do advisor training how to handle females, though.
Yeah.
I think it would be helpful.
Yeah,
I think
no,
so,
it's a
too.
thing.
I mean, you want your customers to feel good.
Yeah.
It's how you approach, how you talk. It's so weird.
We're
Yeah.
spending the money.
We think that it's dudes helping dudes. Like it's so, bro.
We need help. We're going to need your help, Lindsay, to put that together, though. I have a hard time putting my head into that mind.
So when you write up a female customer, you got to get out a guitar and sing like a Julio Iglesias song.
Listen, I want to be read poems.
Tu carro necesita un alignment.
I want flowers.
Y leaky mucho oil.
Depending on my mood, I may want some chocolate.
Oh, my God.
Puedo have your car done by tomorrow. Going to be $2,300.
Can you take a selfie of me next to my new clean car?
That's actually funny. That would be funny.
Sure. Yeah.
It's not that funny.
Yeah.
It's not that funny.
I think we got to let the
Service
women
Drive
know
Revolution!
the women represent here.
Okay.
We did that. I bet you this gets a lot of listens.
Yeah.
It's a good topic. Good job, Lindsay.
Well,
How did
thank
you feel?
I feel fantastic. How do you guys feel? Really? Empowered?
He has no ice in his whiskey. What are you drinking there, Gina?
I'm just drinking straight whiskey. I'm still on
I got the ice over here.
the most righteous. So
Well, he's in a bad mood because we're going to get our highlights done later.
What?
I didn't get the invite. It's screwed up, man. I'm telling you.
He's
got
an
left out of
honorary
that.
woman.
He's more sensitive, that guy. That's why it works.
Yeah.
Oh God, just ask my wife. She'll we gotta have her on one day. She'll give you the real dirt.
In the yoga pants.
That's gonna be a two-parter.
In those yoga pants.
That'd be
my
a
God.
two-parter. That would be great. She's got stories that we haven't even heard yet, Lindsay.
She knows me better than anyone else.
I can't wait.
And then we should have your daughter on, and then your son.
Oh, my poor daughter.
Does she still listen, or did she quit
Oh yeah,
listening?
no, she listens. Yeah.
So she had to hear about her dad and his underwear. Like, oh, poor.
My poor daughter.
She's at
Her
college.
and her boyfriend Carlos are listening all the time.
Listen, when Lipitor is putting her through grad school,
That's
she'll
right.
be
Sponsored by Lipitor.
That's what I'm saying.
singing a different tune.
I'm saying.
Lindsay's gonna build this into a media company.
I feel like Jack Nicholson's speech when he was in the military show. I can't remember the name of the movie, but he said, I provide you freedom, and then you question the manner in which I provide it. I would prefer that you just said thank you.
Oh, the Tom Cruise movie.
Yeah.
You can't handle the truth.
That's right. That's what I tell my daughter.
Maybe
I provide
not,
you an education, and you want to question the manner in
not
which I
the-
provide it?
Maybe not the best parenting.
Okay, let's rethink that
kids are
one.
gonna be messed up. No, actually, kids are really good.
Nah, they're good.
That's fun.
Oh man.
Cool. Well, thanks everybody. I hope you have a good week. Thanks, Miss Lindsay.
Thank
Thanks,
you for having
G-Man.
me.
Yep. Absolutely.
We'll talk soon.
All right.